Hey everyone, it's Melody. Thank you so much for joining me back on my channel. I am here downtown at the University Club for their travel club dinner. They have it once a month. This month is a special event because I'm actually going to be one of the speakers speaking about Australia. So every month they travel to a different location virtually and they have someone present on a location they went to, and I'm the speaker this month. And in the background they're setting up. We have a nice dinner. We're gonna have around 25 people here for dinner, I believe, and we have the chefs in the background getting ready. So this room will be full soon. And I'm going to be talking about my trip to Australia that I went to last November. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell icon. There's a bell icon, not sure what side it's going to show up on. And if you do that, you'll get notified whenever I post new videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. This video, at least this portion of the video, is about travel. So let me know if you have a favorite place to travel to. I have a few travels coming up. I'm going to be staying in the United States, going to Dallas, going to Chicago, going to Disneyland hopefully in the next few months. So I will definitely check in with you there. But today I'm talking about Australia, and hopefully I'll show you a few clips of what we eat and what I talk about.
Let's have fun. Let's show them that we can still have fun without
The wine is pouring and flowing, and we're going to get started with our travel club dinner very soon.
Grab that food. Me and the chef will get our spread going.
Alright, the food is arriving. We have some calamari with sweet chili sauce. I believe this is camel. I've never had camel before, so that will be very interesting. And this is some sort of soda bread. My first time eating camel. And then we have a ham and pea soup. And camel tastes like beef, kind of. It's like beef tasting. We're all digging in. All right, about to have some lamb.
Looks nice.
And here is the dessert inspired by an Australian ballerina. It almost looks like a ballet tutu. Can't wait to dig in.
And we just hit it off, so we've been friends ever since. So I'm proud to be the person to introduce Melody. So Melody, what we do at the Chamber when we have speakers, we like to get to know our speaker a little bit. So I just have a few general questions. So
I didn't know about these questions beforehand.
Yeah, I'm kind of throwing her.
Put her on the spot.
So I'm putting her on the spot. But, so first, what is your full name?
It is Melody. My middle name is a Chinese name. It's called Yun Li Tao. Melody Yun Li Tao.
And where were you born?
I was born in Dallas, Texas, which people do not know that about me because I'm from Southern California and I never really lived there. So I was born there, then moved. But I can claim being from there when I need to, and I can claim not being from there when it's not convenient. So I can say.
Smart.
What is your most memorable trip?
Oh, I've had a lot of trips. That's memorable. They're all memorable. Last year we went on a cruise to the Bahamas, which was a lot of fun. Very tropical. The water, like I don't like going in the water, but there it was just amazing and warm, and it was a cruise. I haven't been on too many cruises, but I feel like now I like them because you don't have to worry about eating. Well, you don't have to worry about eating, that they feed you, driving. So the Bahamas cruise was a really great trip, I would say.
I love cruising
Yeah.
too.
I'm going on a cruise in 2 weeks from now.
Yay!
The Mexican Riviera that leaves out of San Diego of all places. Did you guys know there are cruises that leave out of here?
Oh yeah.
It is Holland America. Yeah.
We took that cruise.
You took that cruise? Oh, okay, well I'll have to ask for tips. So.
And what's next on your bucket list on places to go?
Well, I mentioned when I was in 7th grade that I took that passport trip to Paris. I've never actually been to Paris, so I'm getting married in April, and I want to do our honeymoon in Paris.
Yay.
Wow. Romantic trip, yes.
And my last question, what is your best travel tip for the folks here?
Wow. So you guys are probably expert travelers. I have a lot of travel tips. I actually made a video on travel tips. Do any of you ladies like to bring a lot of stuff with you when you travel?
I try not to.
Try not to. Do you know how sometimes it's hard to bring on just a carry-on bag? So my trick for carry-on is that I have one of those reusable bags you can fold up that's kind of big, but I fold it up in my purse. When I get on the plane, I unfold it, I bring my purse in there so it doesn't touch the floors, it's super dirty, and if I have food or souvenirs, I can throw everything in that bag, so I end up being able to bring a big bag in a small bag. And people always like comment on it because I bring it out and it's this huge bag. So bring an extra foldable bag to carry all your stuff. Is hopefully this is a good tip. So,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well, thank you, and again, it's my pleasure to introduce Melody Town.
Thank you so much. Tonight, as you know, we are going to Australia. I'm going to be walking around on Atop. I'm very animated when I talk. And how many of you have been to Australia? Raise your hand if you've been to Australia. So a lot of you. All right, so if I say anything that's not aligned with Australia or that you don't agree with, then I'll turn to people that haven't been there yet. How about Sydney, Australia? And Melbourne, Australia. So 2 people. One thing that I do have to let you guys know before you go to Melbourne, it's called Melbourne, not Melbourne, because I got corrected. I'm sure you guys have been. I got corrected so many times from Australians that it's not Melbourne, it's Melbourne, even though it's spelled Melbourne. So I'm going to take you to Sydney and Melbourne. This is just some information that is for the U Club that I was asked to share. We meet every single month here on the 2nd Tuesday of the month. We have informative talks, there's photos, there's experiences and travel tips, and we also pair the dinners with wine and drinks, and we have speakers that travel all over the world that we're looking for. So if you want to be up here like me next time, talk to Wayne, and you could be in my shoes, not my exact shoes, but you could be up here. But it's every single month. That's Rodney. He's my fiance. He just came to pick me up and watch me talk. So I told him about our honeymoon, which is going to be in Paris. He doesn't know about that yet.
It's on Facebook Live.
You can sit here. I save you some camel. All right. So the first photo I wanted to show. This is the. Who knows what this is? Sydney Opera House. This is an absolute must if you go to Australia, but don't be like me and not book your tickets in advance. You always want to book your tickets in advance. I will share a story about how I was able to get in, but book your tickets in advance. All right, so this is just the map. The map is not exactly up to scale. As you can see, it looks like I got there quickly. But I want to say the entire travel experience was 20 hours, around 20 hours each. Was that correct? Yeah, 20 hours. And after that trip, I decided I'm never traveling that long without being in at least business class, because it was just like a rough trip. So, the one thing that is a plus is that when I went there in November, I went with 3 of my girlfriends. We found tickets round trip from LAX for $550. Wow. So we did get a really good deal. Tickets typically run $1,000 to $2,000 if you're planning a trip there. I somehow saw online that they were cheap. I was like, let's go. And somehow I was able to plan a trip with 3 of my girlfriends to go visit Australia. So we thought that was a really good deal, too good to pass up to go to Australia. All right, so this is a Sydney Opera House at night. And I highly recommend that when you are there, you walk the entire Harbour Bridge. We had to correct ourselves and say it's not Harbour, it's Harbour. That's how they spell it there. But definitely take this walk because you get the best view of the Sydney Opera House walking on the bridge, especially at night. So highly recommended. It doesn't cost you anything and you'll lose calories, so definitely walk along the bridge. It's very tempting to just get a taxi to go across, but I think the walk is definitely worth it. This is the open air market called The Rocks. Has anyone been to The Rocks who's been in Australia? A couple of you guys. This is sort of like a farmer's market. There's crafts, there's art, there's food. One of the favorite things that I did there was eat kangaroo. And we didn't have that tonight. The chef said that he couldn't get it because it was illegal in some way to get it. So kangaroo is something you want to try in Australia. It tastes like
Chicken.
Yeah, kind of chicken, but more gamey. And these were kangaroo kebabs. You can basically shout that you're a tourist when you are asking where's a kangaroo to eat. So that's one thing I recommend trying there because you can't really get it anywhere else besides Australia. Another cool thing about the open air market in The Rocks is that there's a lot of local artists that display their work and sell jewelry. So this necklace is actually a gold eucalyptus leaf from Australia. And one of the things that I learned there is when I go to Australia, or when I go to travel anywhere, I'm going to buy jewelry because it's a great statement piece to be able to talk about when you go to events like this or when you go anywhere. So my new thing is that Rodney's going to buy me some jewelry every
Oh,
time.
he doesn't know that
He didn't know that. Now he's regretting coming.
either. Cameras, jewelry, you better take notes.
Yes, I'm just making sure. So I'm actually recording this for make sure that I'm still on here. So
No,
definitely,
he's locked in. You're fine. He's locked in.
definitely check out the rocks because you'll see some really cool local things there. And we like to do things that are more what locals can do. It's not like everyone knows about them. And the Rocks has all these local artists. It's like going to the Little Italy Farmers Market here. So very cool thing to do. Avocado toast is becoming more popular here, but in Australia, it's like a signature dish. Every single breakfast place has avocado toast. Have you guys had that? Anyone had avocado toast? So, but you don't see it in restaurants here, right? It's not in any restaurants. But they're amazing. This is the best avocado toast I've ever had. Look at the runny yolk. It seems like basic food, but for some reason, when you're traveling, it just tastes better. So definitely look for avocado toast. They have like food carts and stands dedicated to avocado toast there. Okay, they also like to make fun of Americans. We were walking around and we ran into a party that was a USA themed party. This was was it after the election that I won? After the election, they had a USA party, and who are those people? These guys? And then his pageant people. So we thought it was quite amusing that we ran into people dressed as Americans. Another thing that we saw as a theme party, the same party, was really fat people wearing Hawaiian shirts. At first, we had no idea what they were, and we were in an Uber, and we asked them, "What are you guys?" They're like, "We're Americans." They were wearing hula hoops that made them look fat, and khaki shorts, had the cameras on, so that's how they see Americans, is Donald Trump and Hawaiian shirts. So we thought it was hilarious just because, we're American and we're going there. And then this is another photo of the Harbour Bridge that was really cool, where you can see the Australian flag, which is also why I recommend walking along the Harbour Bridge. The Sydney Opera House was such a cool place. We saw Othello, and we were very lucky to get in last minute because you're normally supposed to book tickets there, 3-6 months in advance to get in. We showed up and said, "Oh, we want to go watch a play here," and the woman looked at us like, "You guys must be Americans and not know you book in advance." The bridge view is the view, that's the Harbour Bridge, it's the view at the Opera House of the bridge. And then the way we even got in was because she said, we do have some seats left. They are the worst seats in the house. And it was not that expensive, it was $70 because they were the worst seats. Do you guys want them? Like, we came all the way over here, we were watching a play at the Sydney Opera House, or a musical piece. And the reason why they were the worst seats is because she said they're front row seats at the very front.
Oh.
And we're like, that doesn't seem like the worst. It seems like the best seats. It actually ended up being seats that were up front that were labeled as obstructed view because they were so close, but we could see perfectly fine. So we paid the lowest ticket price, got in last minute, and got to see the play without any interruptions. She made it seem like we couldn't see and it was blocked off, but we just had to kind of look up a little bit, but it was perfectly fine. So you don't plan ahead like we didn't plan ahead, you still will be able to see plays if it's at the very front. She had those, or she had the seats in the very back. We decided up front, and it was perfectly fine. So we got very lucky to see a play there, and now I can say I've been to the Sydney Opera House. This is Manly Beach, and we joked around that we went all the way across the country, took a 20-hour flight, took a ferry, took a bus just to go to the beach when we have the beach right here. But it's kind of different when you're on vacation, right? In San Diego, you don't think of the beach as a vacation. You think, I'm just going to go to the beach. We wanted to go to the beach there, and so this is the beach view. You do take a ferry, which I highly recommend doing the ferry instead of getting a ride, because this is a gorgeous ferry view back here. See the gorgeous ferry view, the sunset, the Harbour Bridge, and the beach is honestly not that different from San Diego, but it was in Australia, so we like to. It feels different because you're on vacation. I never go to the beach here.
But isn't the water warmer?
It is warmer. The water is warm. I feel like San Diego has one of the coldest waters of everywhere. So, and this is Bondi Beach. So we went to both the beaches, Manly Beach and Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is a little bit more young and hip and party-ish. There was some sort of music festival that we walked into at Bondi Beach. If you compare it to like PB versus, I don't know, Del Mar, that's kind of how I compare the two, where Manly Beach is more calm, a little bit more relaxed. Both were good experiences because we were on vacation, but definitely didn't have to go all the way to the beach when we have it here. All right, the Great Ocean Road. Absolutely do the Great Ocean Road. There are many stops here, including the 12 Apostles. And what we did was we rented a car and drove it because we didn't want to be stuck to a tour, but they have many great tours on the Great Ocean Road as well. You can, so this is one of the photos that I took. You basically drive around this whole road all the way around, and you can see a lot of different things. Now they know it's a tourist trap, so they have a sign that says you drive on the left in Australia, because most people driving there are people like us, and we drive on the right side of the road, which is the right way to drive. They drive on the wrong side of the road, which is the wrong side of the road. On the Great Ocean Road, one of the things that we did was the Kennett Koala Walk. Okay, everyone always has this stereotype of people in Australia with kangaroos and koalas. The reason why they have that stereotype is because it is true. Kangaroos and koalas are sort of the main themes of what animals they have there. And the Kennett Koala Walk, it wasn't one of those structured places where you actually go feed the koalas. You just walk around and you see them in trees. I heard that they sleep most of the day, 23 hours of the day, so very nice life that they have. And I actually got a video of them moving, which I heard was rare because usually they're sleeping and they're dormant. So the Kennett Koala Walk was where we went to see the koalas. Before we went on the walk, we were able to feed some exotic birds. As you can see, there's a bird on my head. I have no idea how that got there. I know someone dropped some food on my head, but the Kennett Koala Walk is where we were able to see some koalas at our own pace. Again, you can also pay to go into some sort of exhibit or some sort of zoo, but we wanted to do it more free range and be able to see them on our leisure. The museum, how many of you guys like museums? Anyone a museum person here? So the Museum of Contemporary Art in Australia was really cool. I highly recommend if you go there, go on a Wednesday night. On Wednesdays, they're open until 9 o'clock at night, and they have a cafe out top. You can get some wine, you can get a great view. Again, the Harbour Bridge really is the center of Australia. You can see it from everywhere, and that's their cafe there. We had some wine, we had some food, and they had some really cool exhibits there. One thing that I was trying to do the whole time was to buy a souvenir that had kangaroos, and it was very hard to find. I couldn't really find anything with a kangaroo because I think it's so stereotypical that they just don't carry things with kangaroos. At the art museum, they did have some little stuffed kangaroos that were those cheesy souvenirs that I didn't feel were worth getting. But the art museum, go on a Wednesday. It's right next to the Sydney Opera House, and I highly recommend checking out the exhibits that they have there. All right, so this is now in a different city. This is Melbourne. In Melbourne, you're going to see a lot of these recommendations are related to drinking. I don't know why, but that's what we're recommended to do. One of the spots we went to was a cider bar, so we had Australian cider. It was a rooftop bar, and it's not a touristy place, but I recommend doing non-touristy things to get to know the locals. And one of my favorite things about going here was that we connected with a bartender. As you see, I'm like kind of telling him to come with us. He was talking about some sort of speakeasy that we should go to and recommended that we go there. And he actually ended up taking us there after our cider experience was over. And that is called Ooh the V. I'm saying it completely wrong. This is one of my favorite spots in Melbourne. It was a speakeasy, and write this down if you ever want to go to it. It is by a hotel called Adelina, and that's what the door looks like. So it looks like that. You have to find a local because I think there's a password. Have you guys been to a speakeasy before? Anyone been to a speakeasy? No one's been. You've been. It's basically a secret bar that you can't get into unless you know some sort of password, and the door is usually always hidden. So it's not something that you can just walk into. So we found the local bartender at the cider bar. He took us here, and they had really cool cocktails with cotton candy, really cool displays, and we thought it was a really fun night, but it's not something you can do if you don't know about it. So this is the inside scoop of Melbourne bars, the speakeasy. So we had a couple Australian wines to try tonight. The Yarra or Yarra Valley, depending on where you're from, Wine Valley was amazing. We did a wine tour there. I highly recommend booking a wine tour. You do not want to worry about drinking and driving. It was about $100 on Viator was the one that we did. And they took us to, I want to say 3 or 4 wineries. We tasted so many wines, over 20 wines. And we had a full lunch at the Chandon winery at the very end. They gave us a full glass. And it was a lot of wine. Usually you think wine tasting, you taste 3, 4, 5 wines. Actually, the U Club wine tasting is pretty happening, so we'll give a plug for that. I think it's happening tomorrow, and there are about 25 wines you taste. It was like that, and they take you on a bus, they pick you up from your hotel, and they take you to the Yarra Valley. The bus driver we had was really cool. He kind of chattered and explained all the scenery to us. So the wine tour is highly recommended if you're going to be doing wine tasting in Melbourne. They take you to Yarra Valley from your hotel. And that is it. This is just a recap of everything that we did there. And I think that really is it. And I have a quote at the end. That's a quote, "Travel brings power and love back to your life." So that's all. Any questions?
So you rented a car, is that what you did?
We rented a car, yeah.
And just drove around, was easy to navigate?
Yeah, so the Great Ocean Road, it's basically one, almost like a circle, so you can drive around, and it'll kind of have spots where you know this is a stop on the road that people go out and see. And then you can also get a map that shows you where everything is.
And it was just very easy to navigate yourself.
Well, also, I wasn't driving, so it was easier for me. But I felt like it was easy enough in the backseat relaxing, so.
Any other questions for Melody? Melody, you going to be around for a couple minutes if somebody wants to ask you a
Sure,
question
yeah, absolutely.
afterwards? Okay.
Cool, thank you guys so much
Hey,
for having me.
thank you for that.
Gotta end my video.
All right.
All right, I just finished giving the talk. Did you guys enjoy the Australia tips that I gave? Awesome. All right, thank you guys for having me.